So I've had a dilemma a little bit in my own mind about maximizing my 20s while also maximizing the social relationships I create, both corporate, professional, and then just genuine fostering of, what do you even call those? It's weird. We start developing these terms for relationships into adulthood when we were kids, all we said was friend or parent, pretty much, right? What am I getting at? Essentially, I'm at a dilemma where I'm thinking to myself, okay, how much do I maximize work and hustle, entrepreneurship, money, etc., versus really just taking a back seat and working hard, but very much maximizing every moment outside of work for all other facets of life, completely unrelated to money, because I've been swallowed by it before. So I'm very cautious to not get caught up again, as it can be an extremely lonely path. I guess the only piece of advice I could give for this video would be, looking back when I was younger, I would not have been so stiff in social interactions, thinking those people were just going to manipulate me, or I had to shelter myself away because these relationships were not going to blossom, as I had imposter syndrome pretty bad, and I still do to a certain extent. And there we go again with another label with another label about how I felt. But I think that's pretty accurate. Imposter syndrome, as I've looked at the symptoms of it, that's pretty much what I had really strongly, especially coming out of high school, because, you know, your identity is wrapped up in a little bubble, and then that thing pops and you move on to the new thing, and you realize, oh, I had this collection of thoughts about who I was back there, and now I'm here. Well, what now? And that caused a definitive rift in my social relationships, because I just figured, well, you know what? I was the nerdy dude in high school, and therefore I'm gonna have my nose in a book constantly in college too. But even then I actually broke out of that and I started partying, but I barely went out. Honest to God, I just didn't even study that hard when I got to college. Everything just kind of fell through on where I was going, why I was doing anything. This video is all over the place, but this is literally what happened to me. It was just a chaotic spiral effect of everything I had worked towards now being questioned, especially by the people I was around, who broke down my mental patterns, sometimes with, you know, bad arguments, because I just wouldn't listen, to find out, okay, that was not what I wanted, this is what I want. And I come to find out finally, about junior year of college, yep, I don't want to be a doctor. It's official. And so I essentially started my life over that I had worked 6 years, 7 years towards. My life path had completely went another direction. And that can be extremely stressful. As goofy as that is, being in a first world country, having those problems and claiming you have a lot of stress on your plate, it still matters, you know? Hey, what's up, man?
My leg, and it's hurting.
Your leg's hurting?
Absolutely, it's hurting.
Okay. You know any stretches you can do for that?
Oh, that won't happen.
Okay. Did I really just ask this man to stretch? Okay. Well, essentially, my identity just went everywhere. And so I've tried, I think at this point, 9 different jobs, maybe 10. Just assortment of different people, industries, and none of them have really aligned with what I felt like I wanted to do most, without motivating myself just by pure positive self-talk. It's like when you're a kid and you get up and go hang out with your friends, or you engage in some project without even thinking about it. A lot of people, I think, get brainwashed by the school system to conform to one mentality, and they lose that inner spark. And only until they've reached decent financial freedom do they start questioning, what did I just spend the last 10 years of my life doing? Why was I pursuing money? And once money problems are solved, then the existential angst can really kick in. And I think that's what's happening to a lot of people, especially during COVID. We thought to ourselves, okay, if I can just get everything taken away from me like that and be forced to stay inside my house all day, well, how do I have the freedom to do anything, let alone make the money necessary because I can't go to work or my business is being shut down? This is just a chaotic time in America, man, and the whole world. But we're at the tail end of it. I think a lot of people are just starting to not care. I barely see people wear masks where I'm at. I know it's different in other states, but people are starting to care so much less about the hysteria. A lot of people are dumping cable news, and I think that's great. So chaos usually ends in destruction of a lot of things, or very positive new outcomes. A lot of people now can work from home. That's an amazing outcome. And it wasn't thought of as normal. Now it is. And the more normalized working your own schedule, working from home, not having to dress in a suit every day if you don't want to, essentially doing whatever you want to do while getting the tasks completed efficiently. We're starting to care, I hope, more about results than all the politics, methods, etc. to get there. And some people have beef over that statement, because then they come at me like, hey, look at all these garbage trucks going up and down the street. You think that's okay? We should think about the methodology of profit. All right, well, what's your plan? They usually don't have any. What are your plans? They usually don't have any. Bad grammar. So it's not like you have a simple solution. No one does. I don't think there is a simple solution to a lot of things. Besides, get paid so you don't have to stress about money. That's pretty simple. I don't really think you can be financially de-stressed without the means. So that's kind of my focus. No, it really has been my focus for a long time. Get paid as much as possible, do the best work I can, simultaneously figuring out what matters most, and just enjoying the ride along the way, because that existential angst can take you over and dominate your sphere. Your mind can just be taken over by stress, and then all of a sudden you don't think straight at all. That's why society is much more civilized. We have so many provisions. People aren't killing each other to get ahead anymore. At least not to the extent they were. And that's a good thing. Does that mean we're controlled? Yeah, probably. Think about all the things you're actually controlled by. It's not just the government. It's literally you. You decide, I want a car, I want a healthy paying career, I want a family, I want these materials, I want this group of friends. You're controlled by your desires. unless you just can somehow turn them off. And that's what monks try to do. And the Buddha preached about that. The cessation of desire is the beginning of enlightenment. Something along those lines. I just made that up. That's not even his quote, but that's essentially his message. But then, if you have no desire, well, what do you do all day? I don't have the answer to that. So that's why I commit to these random projects and challenges, just to see where my soul goes.